Welcome to the 2016 postgame show. I'm Ryan Jackson, joined by Nick Delmira. What a weekend in sports it was. Don't you worry, your NASCAR highlights are coming soon enough. But I really like this Will Simonton guy. Really excited to hear what he has to say. So Will, what do you got? I don't know about you, Nick, but I think I look pretty good in green.
I think I'd have to agree with you, Ryan.
Thanks, Nick.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it. Well, that'll do it for us here at Augusta. One major down, but still 3 more to go.
What exactly have you guys done differently?
I think we play a lot more aggressively. I know we steal a lot, we bunt a lot, we try and play aggressively, get guys moving, put pressure on the other team, and I think it shows up when we come out on the field every day. The way we play, we attack the other team and put the pressure on them, and that's the way we like to play.
As they still hold control of the 1 seed in the Eastern Conference. Also in the win, James passed Spurs forward Tim Duncan for 14th on the NBA all-time scoring list. After losing to the Memphis Grizzlies, James now has 26,406 points and just passed Celtics great John Havlicek.
Whether or not you think esports is a real sport, this global phenomenon has been exponentially rising in popularity throughout the world, including United States. One of the more popular games right now, League of Legends, saw a pool prize of over $2 million in 2015, $1 million going to the winner of the tournament. It is safe to say that the video game industry is quickly rising. More than 31 million Americans watched esports in 2013, up from 2 million in 2010. Video games in 2014 made $71 billion in annual revenue compared to $48 billion in the music industry and $91 billion compared to Hollywood. The most common video games genres associated with esports are real-time strategy, fighting first-person shooter, and multiplayer online battle arena.
Well, I have to say, my wife can't understand people watching a golf game because she's not a golfer. So if you're not a gamer, that's not going to appeal to you. When you're into something like, a game like League of Legends, which has 93 million monthly unique players, 93 million, there are a lot of people among those 93 million who want to watch the best people in the world playing the game.
27 million people watched the 2014 League of Legends final compared to the World Series, which averaged just under 14 million people.
It's the first sport that has gotten commercially successful outside of television.
One might ask, how can people sit around and watch video games as entertainment? Michael Patcher, research analyst at Wedbush Securities, tried to explain.
Our typical viewer is a young guy, generally 16 to 24, maybe a little bit older, who's an active gamer, who's just sort of a typical, all-around American kid.
The video game industry is worth $748 million right now, and is expected to reach $1.9 billion by 2018. That's all from me. Back to you guys.
Hello and welcome to Point Counterpoint, where we discuss the hottest topics in sports today. With the omniscient Tim Kenny, I'm Jimmy Fuchsman. We've got a fun show for you today with some NFL and Major League Baseball storylines, but first we begin with college basketball. Villanova, Oklahoma, North Carolina, and Syracuse have all beaten 4 teams on their path to reach the college basketball's final weekend. Tim, in your eyes, which team has had the most impressive run to the Final Four?
I think Villanova's had the best run this year. Jay Wright's team hadn't been in the Final Four since 2009, and they've really done a great job this year. They beat an Iowa team that was ranked 3rd in the country at one point, even though they struggled later on in the season. They dismantled Miami, blew them out of the gym, and then obviously the most impressive win was Kansas, just locking down Perry Ellis and getting Jay Wright's team back to the Final Four is a really impressive run for that team.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Villanova's win over Kansas was probably the single most impressive win of the tournament.
Very.
But for me, I think the choice is easy. It's North Carolina.
Okay.
They've won all of their games by double digits so far, and frankly, they're just the most talented team in the country. They've got the top-rated offense in the nation, and their defense has been especially impressive in the tournament, beating top 10 offenses in Indiana and Notre Dame in the process.
No, it's really been impressive how far they've gone, and we'll see if they can close out the whole thing, but it's going to be a great Final Four.
Should be. There's some good teams. So switching to the women's side now, the UConn Huskies surprised nobody by reaching their 9th consecutive Final Four. This prompted the Boston Globe's Dan Shaughnessy to tweet that the lack of parity is, quote, killing the women's game, end quote. So Tim, has the sheer dominance of the UConn women hurt the sport of college basketball?
I really think it has. I think they've just been so dominant for so long that everyone knows that they're going to be in the Final Four, and if not, win the whole thing every year. They've wanted their going to win their 4th in a row this year, most likely. And even last night, they're a 30-point favorite in the Elite Eight. That shouldn't happen. Everyone knows that they're going to go as far as they go every year. They need more of a rival. Years past, they had Skylar Diggins on Notre Dame, and they had Brittany Griner at Baylor, and that's been a team that could possibly beat them. Now it just feels like they're just coasting through everybody.
See, in my opinion, UConn can't kill women's basketball. Okay. UConn is women's basketball. It's the reason we talk about the sport. It's the reason they get so much attention is because of their sustained excellence. And frankly, I think dynasties are good for sports.
But at what point is too many years in a row winning too much for them? If they go 5, 6, 7, 8 years in a row winning it all and not losing a game, isn't that too much and seeing not enough competition?
Sports are cyclical, and frankly, I think UConn's going to continue to do well, but we shall see.
Yeah, we'll see if they can win again this year.
All right, it's time to grab your ball caps and Cracker Jacks, boys and girls. Major League Baseball opening day is less than a week away. So before the first pitch is thrown, who you got?
I got the Mets. Sad to say it's Yankee fan, but I got the Mets winning all over the Rangers. They got that pitching staff back. They got Matz with a full year under his belt. Hopefully, Harvey, the news came back today that he's be healthy for opening day, but they brought Cespedes back. They got Neil Walker to play second base. Hopefully, they get a healthy David Wright and Travis d'Arnaud, and I think they're going to win it all this year.
This is finally the year that hell freezes over. I've got the Cubbies winning it all. Beating the Houston Astros. I really can't talk enough about the job Theo Epstein's done. He's got so much young talent. Chris Bryant, Anthony Rizzo, Kyle Schwarber. We've got the reigning Cy Young and Jake Arrieta. They are talented top to bottom, no holes in the roster. They should be a good team this year.
You might see an NLCS rematch with the Mets and the Cubs. That'd be a great series.
All right. So in the most notable signing in the NFL's offseason to date, Robert Griffin III has signed with the Cleveland Browns. The Browns have had their fair share of highly publicized failings in recent years, and now they join forces with Robert Griffin III. How do you see the signing planning out for each side?
I don't think it's going to work out for either side. I mean, Cleveland has been a place where quarterbacks have gone to die for nearly 20 years now, and I don't see that changing with RG3. He doesn't have many weapons, if any weapons at all. Josh Gordon may come off a suspension, but that's still up in the air, and the Browns are likely going to draft a quarterback in the first round, and then RG3 will have a quarterback looking over his head just like he did in Washington.
Well, we'll see how the draft goes. You never know. There's a lot of subterfuge in the meantime. But I actually think RG3 is going to flourish in Cleveland. I know you never hear flourish in Cleveland in the same sentence.
Bold statement.
But, Washington was just not the right fit for him. I don't think you can underestimate how big a change of scenery will be for him. And Hugh Jackson, their new head coach, made Andy Dalton look like an elite quarterback. So we'll see what he can do with RG3.
He did. We'll see who he can throw the ball to and see if they can work out as an offense.
All right. Well, that's all we have time for today. Thank you for joining Point Counterpoint. Tune in tomorrow for more.
Is Danny Willett the new star on the rise in the PGA?
It's tough to say. With so many players like Jordan Spieth, Rory McIlroy, Jason Day, you have Stetson still, you have Mickelson still out there, you have DeChambeau, the amateur that looked really good in the tournament today. It's hard to say that he's going to stand out. I think he has a chance to be in someone that you'll see up in the leaderboards, though, for years to come.
Did Spieth lose this, or did Willett win it?
I would say Spieth lost it. It's very uncharacteristic of him, and to shoot a 7 as a professional at any hole really is not good. Well, I guess a par 5, but with that being said, yeah, I'd say Spieth definitely lost it.
Yeah,
But if you had to golf one hole at the Masters, what hole would you golf at?
I guess I'd have to pick the 12th. I'd like to see if I can shoot better than a 7.
That's a good idea.
I'd like to hope I can.
Yeah, I'd hope so too. Stockus starts off with a liner rate to Cespedes. Doesn't get paid $25 million to play defense. We had Bartolo Colon coming in for Harvey. He's pitching to Omar Infante, who hits a single right up the middle. Gordon would come around to score. The Royals would go up 4 and go on to win the game 4-3. Starting the season off on the right foot. Here's Montero. He's got a shift on him, but he is going to beat that. He's going to bring home a run. And on his next at bat, he is 1 on. No shift. Should have kept the shift. That's a home run. They would take a 5-0 lead. And Jake Arrieta back on the mound and doing Jake Arrieta things. Gets Cole Calhoun the ground out. He pitched 7 scoreless. Cubs win 9-0. So after the break, you got Peyton Manning and NASCAR at the same time. You don't want to miss this.